You were at the last two Blazer games.
Yes, I was. I was at the Charlotte Hornets game, maybe the worst game I've ever seen in my entire life. And
it was a hard watch.
And then the Miami Heat one, which was a lot more fun, even though we lost that at the end.
How are you feeling about the rebuild? Because we've talked about this quite a bit. There were a lot of fans that I know you saw it on Twitter. Trade Dame, reset, it's time to rebuild. And those same people are not about that life now that has come to fruition. How are you feeling about the rebuild?
I was on the if Dame wants to leave, it's time to trade Dame kind of thing, where it's like he gave us so much, and I was like, if he wants to go, happy to see him go. I want us to get the most in return for that package, given the contract left. But, like, this is exactly what I expected. This is what this looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a little bummed out that Shaedon Sharpe is out for the season. That is a setback, obviously, for how you picture it going. Scoot being hurt intermittently here and there is also a bummer. But I never got worried about Scoot's development. I was like, this is probably what it looks like when you're a point guard. I also...
In a 19-year-old point guard?
19-year-old, coming out of G League Ignite, which I'm starting to think more and more is maybe the worst place for a player to come out of.
The NBA is going to force a restructuring of that, because it's just
they need to nuke it. It's like
it's a good place, but they can't do what they did this year, which is have like 8 kids.
Yeah,
because they've won 4 games. So they're going into like small gyms and getting the crap kicked out of them by grown men. That's not helping anyone.
It's bad. You're getting the crap kicked out of you, and you're not. It's like AAU on steroids, where you're like, it's a lot of people operating for themselves, where. Like I want these guys to get paid, but now they can get paid going to Duke. You know what I mean? So it's like, go get coached up, learn how to play in a system. Like, so Scoot, who I think is an amazing dude and going to be an amazing basketball player, like, I just think that was also like a big setback, where it's like we have to grade that man on a curve because he's trying to be a true point guard who is coming out of like maybe the worst place for a true point guard to come out of.
It truly is, because of what you were talking about, that it is every man for himself, because they're trying to make their name to vault up draft boards, and it's just not working out.
No.
It's just not working out.
You need to be with a couple dudes who are pretty sure they're going to be dentists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like a couple guys who are going to set screens and shoot threes and stuff like that. Get a periodontist on your wing, you know?
Yeah, and one team also has to have the guy who we all know is going to be the guy at the bar, like 10 years down there, will be like, yeah, I played with him in college.
Oh, absolutely.
I played with him in college.
Who's so flabby that you're like, how did that happen between, like, now and in those last 10 years? But then he stands up and he's like 6'6", and you're like, maybe.
Okay, I could see it. If I squint, I can see it.
That dude just cooking people at 24-hour fitness, that guy out there playing in Crocs. Yeah.
Are you still as committed, or do you find yourself checking in and out on the season?
If I'm being 100% honest, probably watch fewer games than I did during the Halcyon days.
See, and that's normal.
Yeah.
Like that's the natural progression. You check in, you check out.
Yep. And part of it is being married too, where I'm like, if things are going well, I'm like, my wife will sit down and like, when it was Damian Lillard cooking people, or like close games where it's like, oh, this is really exciting. But when it's us down by 15 to Salt Lake City in the fourth quarter, it's a little harder to be like this instead of, Shogun or like whatever it is you want to watch. And she's just like, she sits down, opens her laptop, and sighs really heavily. And I'm like, all right, we'll turn off the Blazers.
See,
you're making choices. You're investing in the relationship.
Exactly
there.
Right. Yeah, I would rather be married and watch a couple fewer Blazer games than divorced and seeing all 82.
And that's the thing is, like, you look at where they're at right now, and are you at the point yet of like, I can't do this?
No. I'm completely aware of the reality of what this situation is going to be. I'm like, and I'm also happy we kept Brogdon. I think like that's so much better for Scoot to have like an actual very competent point guard, because like who can take those minutes maybe against the first line starters on the other team, and then Scoot can come in and not only learn how to play against elite competition, but if he's playing against the team's backup point guard, I think it's good for him to have some dominant moments. Yeah. Get a taste of that. And yeah, man, like it's exciting enough for me when it's like Jeremy, Ayton, and Simon's out there cooking people. I'm like, this is cool.
Which you had last night until DA goes down.
Yeah. So we have like I know people who are maybe a little more diluted are like looking at it like we're going to be Houston next year.
Yeah.
And also now you see Houston kind of tailing off and like ending up more around play-in 500 basketball team. And it's like, well, that might be asking for a bit much, but at the same time, we do have those pieces there. I wish this draft was better.
Yeah, I mean they're sitting fourth right now. And here's the thing: do you feel like there's any pressure right now in the organization? I mean, I'm sure you saw the TV stuff that popped up. Do you feel like there's any pressure on the organization right now to make not the move, but a move this offseason?
A move being like go get us a big player,
like go get a guy, like the next guy, not maybe not the next Dame, but like a guy that you're like, yep. That's a guy you see on this team for the next 5 to 7 years.
I don't think we are. I mean, like I think the assets we have that would be required to go get that would be like, okay, you have to trade Sharp and Scoot if you want to go get the kind of player we're talking about, or at least one of those dudes in all of our picks. Mm-hmm. And if that guy, maybe if whoever that hypothetical player is on like a 5-year contract, you know, but who is that? Is it like, oh, Cleveland has decided that they can't succeed with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland? Donovan Mitchell re-signed, so like Garland's on the market. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, maybe you look at that and you're like, are we getting the next Tyrese Halliburton? Let's grab that dude and like have him throwing lobs to Ayton and Jeremy Grant, and that looks like a pretty good basketball team. At the same time, I've been a Blazer fan my whole life, and I've been like, this team has always succeeded when we get our best players through the draft.
Mm-hmm. And from small schools.
Yeah. Because like, you know, millionaire 23-year-old black dudes don't want to come live in Portland.
Shockingly.
And I get it, man. I completely understand. They're not wrong. It sucks for us. Like we had CJ McCollum. He loves wine, you know, and that worked out for as long as it could. Yeah. That's enough.
One of my favorite conversations with young Blazers is when I build enough trust with them to be like, so what was it really like when you got here? And like, yeah, it was
it's got to be so disorienting.
I mean, Scoot comes from Georgia.
Yeah, man. We are a long way from Georgia.
That's
the only thing we have in common is like farm-to-table restaurants, and like outside of that, it's like a completely different like environment.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing. So it's like
and strip clubs.
Yes,
that's
a great point.
But remember, he can't go yet. Legally,
he can't go. Right,
legally,
exactly.
You know?
Oh, isn't that crazy?
That's
he has to go to Jiggles,
which doesn't exist.
It's gone.
Yeah. Oh, the jig is gone, dude.
Yeah, they turned that into a Cracker Barrel, and then that
it was kind of a Cracker Barrel back in the day too. Yeah,
it's a Cracker Barrel, LA Fitness, and a Cabela's.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are the only 3 things powerful enough to take Jiggles' place. Wow, that's just hit me.
That $20 cover it wasn't enough to sustain.
That hit me like a brick. I don't know where to get juice now.
Right?
Where are you going to get a cranberry juice for $12 now?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I assume it was high quality cranberry. You're right,
Whole Foods. I think that's the place that you get it now. All right. We appreciate your time, man. Thank you for carving out so much for us.
Yeah. Oh, it's my pleasure. I would hang out all day and talk Blazers. What are you guys talking about next?
Do you want to hang out more? Do you have anywhere to go?
I got to go meet my dad.
It's 1:15 right now.
I got one more segment.
Okay.
You got one more segment. We got one more
Perfect.
segment with Ian.
Yeah.
There is a pro tip, though. Your wife knows how passionate you are about the Blazers.
Yes.
Yep, she's not listening.
No.
She's a teacher. She's in school. What you do is in a season like this, you're like, you know, I'm not going to watch the Blazer game.
Yeah.
You make it the big deal.
You bank it for later.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You know, especially in a game where you see it coming.
Yeah.
Like if
where you see like all the starters are out, you're like,
if the Blazers are playing, if the Blazers are playing Boston on the second of a back-to-back, and you see the writing on the wall, and you go, you know what?
We can watch the highlights.
Let's watch a show. What do you want to do tonight?
Right.
What do you want to watch?
I'm like, Ashton Hagens is starting. I'm like, let's go see a movie.
Yeah, let's go. And you build up those credits for when the Blazers get good, and you go back to being the degenerate basketball fan that we all are.
I'm going to implement this the second I get back to LA.
Yeah. It's because I know your wife isn't listening to this right now either.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
We're good. Circle of trust here.
She's in LA. She's only a good times Blazer fan. She grew up in Chicago, so like she was spoiled. She like had the Michael Jordan Bulls growing up. Yeah.
Oh man.
I know.
Gross.
Awful. Probably gonna divorce her.
I'm so jealous of that.
I know, me too.
I'm so
every time I look
at
at all you know is winning. It's not because I'm mad at it. It's because I'm jealous.
Every June you have to like redo your schedule because there's a parade going down Michigan Avenue, and you're like, nah.
Although the Bulls have been woeful, other than
so
those teams. You know, it's been like other than Michael Jordan.